I work in the NHS and I'm a Unite rep. It's brilliant to see so many NHS trade unions here today. The first speaker that we've got, I'm really thrilled to announce, coming to support the NHS and Brighton and Hove defend the NHS, is John McDonnell, the Shadow Chancellor.
I want to say thanks a lot. Can I thank the drummer? I want to say thanks to the Trades Council and all of you and just congratulate you on this fantastic turnout. It shows how much people care about our NHS. I also want to pay tribute and thank the NHS staff, the doctors, the nurses, the ancillary workers, the cleaners, for the sacrifices they've made over the years. Sometimes there's a photo or a picture that actually encapsulates what is actually happening in the world. A couple of years ago, that photo was a child on a beach in the Mediterranean who drowned, and it showed to us the real suffering of refugees. Last year it was that child dug from the debris in Aleppo and sat in an ambulance with dust and blood all over them. And it showed the suffering in Syria. 10 days ago there was another photo of a child. It was a child, a youngster, being treated in a corridor, lying upon 2 plastic chairs put together in a hospital. This is the 6th richest country in the world. That is unacceptable by any standard. The NHS was founded by the Attlee government, the Labour government, with Nye Bevan as the Secretary of State. At that point in time, we inherited an economic crisis from the war in which debt was nearly 300% of GDP. And yet we could afford the building of an NHS. Why? Because never again did we want people who needed health treatment to be turned away because they never had the money to afford it or they had to rely upon charity. The NHS was an enormous leap forward into civilization. That's why so many of us and our whole community treasures it. That's why people are marching all over the country today to say to the Tories, we will not let you destroy or privatise our NHS. We will stand firm to protect it. In this area you've suffered like many others. The ambulance service under so much pressure, the deficits at the hospital trust, the privatisation, and I want to congratulate you for the campaign to bringing back patient transport back within the public sector as a result of that campaign. But also, like the rest of the country, you've got GP services closing down and staff under intense pressure. And they tell us that they've invested money in the NHS. Jeremy Hunt, and you have to be careful on pronunciation these days. Jeremy Hunt, we know when he said the 10 billion going in, we know it was no more than 4 billion. But we also know since 2010, social care has been cut by 4.5 billion. So we now have a situation where 1 million people no longer get the social care that they need. So what happens to them? They turn up at A&E and they have to be treated by the NHS under pressure. Then, unfortunately, I don't like the term, they then can't leave hospital and become what is classified as bed blockers because the social care is not there to receive them back into the community. This crisis is a crisis of neglect and underfunding. Now what they've done, if they want a solution, it's very straightforward. Stop giving the tax giveaways to the corporations. They cut off at the rock. Sabotage. Sorry, sabotage. Where's the megaphone?
Megaphone! Where's the megaphone?
Let me shout!
Try this one. The solution is straightforward, isn't it? Stop giving the tax giveaways to the rich and the corporations. Start investing in our economy with the skills and the infrastructure so that our people can have high-skilled, high-paid, and then as a result of that can pay the taxes that can afford the public services. But above all else now, and he can do it now, end the cuts, stop the privatisation, respect the wishes of our people that we want an NHS free at the point of need, in which people are properly paid, in which the services are of a high quality. It's about fairness and decency in a civilised society. That's why we're campaigning today, and we do it with what? Absolute determination, courage, and above all else, solidarity, solidarity.
That's great, John. Thank you very much. We're going to move on now to some local speakers. John had to come first, and he's now going to do some press interviews talking about the situation that we've got in Brighton and Hove. I'm just going to introduce Janet Sang from Sussex.